Today, you had to prove your speed and your versatility, tattooing a 60-minute tattoo designed by one of the judges in the style they assigned.
Quickest hour of my life.
Let's start by critiquing the artist that chose Ryan's design. Ryan called Fine Line black and gray.
It's harder than it looks. There is legitimately nowhere to hide. But the higher the risk, the higher the reward.
Here we go.
Hiram, you're up first.
For a fine line black and gray challenge, I feel like it's very dark, very chunky. And unfortunately, what I asked you guys for was the most delicate, intricate line work.
I'll do better. Thank you very much.
Katie, you're up next.
Okay.
If you're gonna take this approach to turn in a single outline, that's ballsy. And you almost had it. But little things like on the bottom, you see the 2 teardrops. If you really look, they're not the same shape. They get a little bit wonky.
I'm gonna throw up.
Chris.
Alrighties.
Overall, it's just really, really, really dark.
The challenge was how delicate can you make it? And that's the failed part of it.
Let's critique the artist that chose Ami's design. Ami called Japanese. Pawn.
I will know. I will know.
The biggest thing is you switch the colors here. The blue is supposed to be on the cloth as dots. And it's been done like that for hundreds of years. The red cloth makes it look like there's gonna be a picnic.
Honestly, if I went to the bottom for the color, I still had fun doing it.
If I thought I was getting a traditional Japanese tattoo and then someone said, oh, you know that's not the right colors, I'd be bummed on it. Bob, why did you choose Ami's design?
I am half Japanese and I love the culture. It's kind of been ingrained into me that it's got the navy blue dots. Wasn't so sure about the rope.
You're the guy that got the rope right.
Oh, thanks.
There's no shading in it. It's supposed to be flat. But I really have a problem with the eyes not being colored in. It's the window to the soul of the tattoo. Don't leave them empty.
Gian.
I love the shading in the face. You gave it the rosy cheeks. I love that. It makes him look more alive. It's a clean tattoo.
Let's critique the artist that chose Nico's design. Nico designed a color realistic eye, and we're gonna start with Angel.
I like the liberty you took on the eyelashes, but there's actually a highlight missing on the eyelid that would have fallen right beneath that eye. There's certain things that could have been a little bit cleaner.
I'm sufficiently terrified.
Holly.
It's probably the most detailed and realistic eye that I've seen. The tear is awesome, but then when you really look at it, it's not clean.
You knew it was a wonky-ass line. There are tricks of the eye you can bring in to fix your mistakes and disguise them and make them look purposeful.
Creepy Jason.
What made you do this flesh tone in red?
I just assumed it's a heart. Do it in red.
The problem is you went and did a blue eye with a blue tear, which makes me believe that the person's sunburned.
Maybe that's why they're crying.
Deanna.
I can see under that brow how you put a warm wine color where it curls into the lid above the pink, and then in the corner of the eye to contrast it, you used more yellowy flesh tone. That contrast is so advanced.
I love the eye. The eyelashes are awesome.
Thank you so much.
Today, you had to tattoo outrageous ideas in insanely difficult places. Safety from elimination is on the line. Angel, you're up first.
For it being such bright colors, so heavily packed, there's almost no irritation, and the inner thigh is a tough spot to get tattooed.
That was one of the tattoos that I really struggled to see how someone could make that cool, and you nailed it with this.
It's obvious that you're here to play ball.
Thank you.
Looks like you're not tattooing tomorrow.
Hiram.
It's a really well done tattoo. The contrast is so high. Like in that background, you have that heavy, heavy dark, and then it goes right into that really bright turquoise blue, and it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Bob.
You went so dark, and it looks so messy. I hate relying on white. It is not to separate grays. It is not to give you contrast.
Tough critics.
Pawn.
I love this tattoo. The way that you shadowed certain things, even under the banana hammock, it has a reflective light under it. The package has a go. I can't. It makes me want to go like this. Literally, it's a shape.
Fun tattoo.
It's super fun, and it was done really well.
And it's well done.
Thank you so much.
Chris,
I see beautiful soft shading on an area of the body that's probably one of the hardest to tattoo.
But I would have liked to see a couple of darker lines to break it up.
and the little guys, they're clowns, I think, but can't really tell. The characters get a little lost. Katie, that skull bothers me. It feels a little fun versus what I think could have been a little bit more ominous.
He's like, I'm a death moth. Yeah.
It does a little bit.
And there's a lot of teeth. It's got so many teeth, it's endless. Just simplify it.
Gotcha.
Creepy Jason.
You really pulled this illustration out. It's fun, it's weird, it's cool.
The sprocket is definitely the cleanest part.
I love the throwback chrome. Where were you in Maryland in the 90s when I was getting my first tattoos?
Middle school, I think. So,
Good work today.
thank you, guys.
Holly.
It's hard for me to understand really what's going on within the tattoo. Everything is the same tone. I would have loved to see you do it without the shading around the outside of the tattoo. The shading around it really took away from it.
This week, we tested your versatility in a brutal 3-round tattoo gauntlet. With $250,000 on the line, there is no room for error. Chris, Holly, Katie, and Bob, based on your work, one of you will be eliminated. Katie, let's start with you.
Okay. Of all the tattoos you've done, this is the one that's the most out of your wheelhouse, and you crushed.
Oh, finally. Okay, cool.
He did a one-line pass, and every line was as solid and as consistent as it should have been. And that is what it takes to pull off Japanese.
I'm glad Katie McGowan finally showed up to this competition.
Oh,
Welcome back to the game.
thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Holly.
It's a really clean tattoo. There's a couple of things to improve, consistency in your leaf shape. It's one of those things that are important in Japanese is that one shape of leaf goes out through the whole tattoo. You know how to put color in. You could do a solid tattoo. You showed us that you could do a clean outline. It's good.
Thank you.
Bob.
You made it look like your corgi, and it makes me stoked. But when I looked inside the ears, it just looked very rushed. The tongue and whatever is going on with his gums, I couldn't really tell what was happening there. I would have loved to see that stuff a little cleaner. They looked a little unfinished.
Chris.
The face of the frog is the most important thing. The highest contrast needs to be in that area. The details in the arms, and it seems to me like that's maybe where you started. I would have loved to see that in the front of the face. The eye kind of gets lost. If that face looked like that arm, right on.
Today, you had to prove your creativity tattooing in a fine art style. Let's see how you did. Bob, you're up first. Your canvas wanted a Kandinsky-inspired work.
These two could be hanging next to each other in a museum, and nobody would know the difference.
Thanks.
Not only did you hit it on a creative level, the black is strong, that saturation is solid, your color theory is smart.
Beautiful tattoo, bro. Every choice you made was hitting the mark. Thanks.
Too much, man. Tattoo of the day, man. Damn.
Creepy Jason. Your canvas wanted a Bosch-inspired tattoo.
One thing that really throws me off was the bright red. It doesn't exist in Renaissance painting.
It would have been really amazing to see you do the green that's in the painting in the candle.
I would have loved to. Her sleeve was all black and gray and red. I don't want to her whole sleeve up by throwing green in it.
Classic case of respecting what the canvas wants.
Correct.
I worry about this tattoo with what the challenge was. It's a tough one. Angel, your canvas wanted a Van Gogh-inspired impressionist work of art.
Where's the stars?
The light tower is lit up with a perfect white blue paint job, and it's supposed to be nighttime.
I feel like I'm looking at starry day instead of starry night.
Deanna, your canvas wanted a Picasso-inspired cubism piece.
I don't think there's a person in this room that could look at your tattoo and say it doesn't look like a Picasso. But when you get really close, there's places where the color doesn't come all the way up to the line.
It's one of the most important technical aspects of tattooing. Make it solid.
Pawn, your canvas wanted a Vermeer-inspired Renaissance work of art.
I don't feel Vermeer in it. Everything's super sharp, it's hard edges, and it looks a lot more contemporary compared to an old master painting. I would have loved a softer edge, and that's what I really wish you would have pulled out.
Damn. Take that. And I'm going home for that. I'm proud of my tattoo.
Holly, your canvas wanted a Salvador Dali-inspired piece.
On the edges of the squares, a lot of the lines go past and don't really meet.
The outline rectus in so many different places. You're having a hard time with that.
Hiram, you had the Liechtenstein-inspired piece.
All those teeny tiny little thin, perfect lines next to each other, that doesn't really exist in pop art. If you made that astronaut twice the size and took out 50% of the detail, it would have been a lot more readable and it would have hit the challenge a lot more.
Katie, your canvas wanted a Francisco Goya-inspired piece.
I have always hated this painting, so it makes me feel bad.
He's eating his son.
It's disgusting. This painting makes me feel bad. The tattoo doesn't make me feel great either. It's missing richness.
Everything looks kind of dead and cold in there. When you have the black so solid, it's almost like you're suffocating me.
I can't get past how unappealing this tattoo is.
Gian, your canvas wanted an Aubrey Beardsley-inspired Art Nouveau. Great artists know how to leave these little uncomfortable moments in paintings where at first glance you can look in the middle of his drawing and you can kind of be uncomfortable because it's empty, but then you look at it longer and you like it.
The black, you really packed it in. Everything is super smooth. The saturation is where it needed to be. It's a great tattoo.
Thank you, guys.
Today, you had to show your attention to detail by tattooing animal pinups. Let's see how you did. Bob, you're up first.
This tattoo is so incredible, man. It's like laser printed.
Not only anatomically is your illustration absolutely spectacular, but the use of textures like the latex top really looks shiny. I just want this giraffe to have social media so I can start following her.
There you go, man.
Pawn.
I'm feeling this tattoo all the way. I can't look at that face anymore. It's one of the funniest tattoos I've ever seen.
The details in it are hilarious, bro.
You have a knack for weird tattoos. I think you did this tattoo really well.
Thank you very much.
Katie.
Okay.
In terms of it being detail day, I love how her polka dot bikini top matches her little pearls, and she got her nails done to match. This lady is put together.
The way you did that picket fence looks like you literally used a ruler to stretch those lines. It's really impressive.
Thank God you finally got a tattoo that you liked doing, because it absolutely shows.
Oh.
Creepy Jason.
This whole challenge really was about detail. You got smooth, you got rough, you got ruffles, you got pink, you got blue, you got hair, you got everything in there.
I can't believe how teeny tiny you got those eyes and how crispy they are. This is by far my favorite tattoo you've done so far in the competition.
Nice try, buddy.
Gian. This llama is on the beach sipping a pina colada. The palm trees are awesome.
But all of your texture and detail is in the top left portion of this tattoo. I wish you had half of the amount of texture in the rough of the whole neck, and you pulled some of that texture down into the body.
But it's so clean. Man, this is a fun tattoo.
Awesome. Angel. Your drawing ability, obviously it's great. Those are the sexiest legs of the day, but it gets a little lost in the middle. The hoof and the nose through the dress.
I would have loved to see the dress more flowing. It looks kind of stiff. Right now, it kind of looks like a little bit of like a tutu.
I've never seen a deer with ears that big. Is it a deer? Is it a mouse?
Did the damn thing.
Holly.
I love her pose, but the front leg is smaller than the back leg. The perspective looks a little off to me right there.
Her left arm, it's anatomically confusing as to what's happening. It looks too short, and you kind of just stuck it into her hair. Total cop-out.
Hiram. The face is beautiful. As I went through the tattoo, the body starts to have some problems.
On the wrist that's furthest from you, the anatomy looks a little contorted. The furthest foot as well looks like it might be twisted too much.
It looks like a left foot.
You could have given her gecko feet because human anatomy is really hard to pull off when it's that teeny tiny.
Today, you had to tattoo in one of the styles called by the Ink Masters. If you were able to beat or match the Ink Master, you are safe from elimination. Angel, Bob, Holly, you tattooed an illustrative style called by Anthony. Before we critique your work, let's check out Anthony's tattoo.
This illustration tells the entire story. That is a badass wolf coming in for vengeance, and he's coming in to reap.
I love the chunkiness of the chain. The way you blocked it out, I feel weight, and I love seeing that.
Love the gold, the way you work the gold all the way through. It's beautiful. It's a Reaper wolf. It's super cool. It's dope.
Thank you, guys.
Dope tat.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, artists, let's see how you did. Angel. How are you feeling about your tattoo? Do you feel like you beat Anthony?
If I may be so bold, yes.
Gotta be bold.
You picked my favorite subject matter. I love doing snakes. I love the head on this thing, super dynamic, but where you fall short, the belly plates always have to be facing the same way. And at some point or another, I had to figure out, like, so wait a minute, is it going back or is it going forward? The belly plate should be facing one way, but now they're facing the other way. So that, to me, is just an eyesore.
Holly.
I like the color choices. Flesh tone whipped out to the skin tone is nice. But I gotta be honest, man, the eyes look a little cross-eyed. One's looking kind of to the right and the other one's kind of looking straight.
I put a shadow on the top of each eye, and maybe I just did a little too much shadow on the inside corner of that eye.
If you turned her into a mushroom lady and you went all the way with it, and you used mushrooms to create the other things, you'll get away with more. Artistically, if you let yourself go and fly, that's when you start to stand out as an artist, because your ideas are dope.
Anthony's, it's such a solid design. I do not think you matched the master.
It's just bottom heavy, and that's where I think he failed.
Bob.
This is a funky ass tattoo, and it's really cool. The one thing that's always surprising is to see how you pack color and how solid it is and saturated.
It's refreshing. It feels like a new style. It feels like something different, and it feels like Bob.
Did Bob match the master?
Yes, Bob did match the master.
Katie and Pawn. You tattooed traditional open color palette called by Tony. Before we critique your work, let's check out Tony's tattoo.
I love looking at a badass panther tattoo. The flow and the design is awesome. I love the way it fits the body.
The face is one of the coolest faces I've seen in this type of tattooing. The use of the red and the yellow in the eye is really cool. This tattoo is bold, it is strong. It was a bold move and it paid off.
This is a timeless tattoo. It's gonna be really hard to beat this. Okay, Pawn.
I love the design. I love the eagle. I love the wings going up. I love the mouth and the beak. It looks badass, dude. Coming down into like the heart skull, there's a lot going on in it.
Simplicity and strength, that's traditional.
Traditional is more than just a rule book. It's a feeling, and I feel like it feels traditional.
Katie, you're up.
Okay.
I love the butterflies. I love how you made the center of them that little heart and left the negative space right on top.
You simplified it. You didn't put too many lines on that hair. You kept it exactly what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Creepy Jason, you tattooed in black and gray, surrealistic freehand, called by Steve. Before we critique your work, let's check out Steve's tattoo.
Evil, bro.
You really nailed it when it comes to texture and depth and contrast and how you're building this deepness to everything that gets thrown back. The further you look back, the more depth it gets, and that's the cool part.
I love the little bridge of the nose and the subtlety that you made it look like it's almost broken underneath the skin.
I'm a fan of horror tattoos like this. I think it's badass.
All right, Creepy Jason, let's see how you did. I like there's a delicateness to it. I love how you threw the web in the back. I think you smashed this, dude.
Awesome. There's a lot of little intricate stuff, like in the eyes and in the eye sockets.
Inside of the skull, you have all of the creepy, dirty, dingy web stuff. Then the body of the spider almost looks like it's that really thin exoskeleton sort of cocoon.
Gian, you tattooed in neo-traditional, called by DJ.
That's right.
Before we critique your work, let's check out DJ's tattoo.
It's a really beautiful design. It's just so aesthetically pleasing, so well drawn.
I love the different line weights you've used to create that hair and the flow. I think that's super powerful. There's a lot of tricks in here.
And you used line work to show all of the different areas of the bird and all of the different movements that you wanted the bird to have. I am so happy you came in swinging like this.
All right, Gian, let's see how you did.
You found the biggest dude on the yard, and you went after that dude.
Yes, 100%. For me, DJ being one of my favorite artists of all time, going head to head, that was the way for me to just step out of my comfort zone.
I think you nailed this tattoo. They're super clean. The shape of the tattoo, the details at the bottom, ripping through, the mouth, the eyes. I like them all.
Thank you.
When you really zoom in on the whiskers, they are lined really nicely. That is so hard to do.
Today, you had to face off with a freehand tattoo to prove your adaptability. Based on your work, one of you will be packing your machines. Let's see how you did. Pawn, let's start with you.
For freehanding this tattoo, it's big, it's strong, it's powerful. The color is super, super solid. It has a ton of personality. It's really cute.
I was questioning the horns. One horn is pushed all the way back of the head, and then one horn is coming out the middle of the head.
That other ear is tucked behind, so in my head, it made more sense, like it was coming out from right there.
I will say there were a couple little areas where it looked like you whipped just a little too far, but it's a really good tattoo, Pawn.
Thank you so much, guys.
Damn hard, huh?
Angel.
You knocked this tattoo out of the park. The face on it is awesome. The eyes, just the white highlight perfectly set in there. The piece missing off that ear, it's like this caterpillar's been wrestling.
Artistically, your knowledge of anatomy on an animal that doesn't even exist makes me believe it does exist. Those feet are adorable.
I just feel like you really needed an extra hour and a half to finish it.
I wish you would have just either did more in the belly or left it completely blown out, like nothing there, because it would read a little bit better.
Holly. I like your snail. I like the creativity. I like the skull shell biting into it, like the mullet. This is a fun tattoo.
I let myself be a little bit freer than I normally allow myself.
The most impressive part is the head of the snail. You created this really cool shine right in the center of it, and the complementary colors that come off those little antennas was right on.
This was a different artist that did this tattoo today. I see so much growth in just this one piece. But the right side of the tattoo looks like that was done by the new Holly, and the skull and mullet on the left was done by the old Holly. You went in and you lined every single piece of hair with black, 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 and it's the only place on the tattoo that's done that way technically, and so it separates it from the snail.
Today, you had to show your artistry by seamlessly blending new school and black and gray realism into one landmark tattoo. Based on your work, one of you will be packing your machines. Before we get into these critiques, after the tattoo, Katie started to not feel well and had to leave. Let's take a look at Katie's tattoo. Katie had the Forbidden City.
This is a perfect example of getting a really tough idea and executing it really well.
Her new school approach is really cute. I love how twisty and turny the street is. The color is bright, it's vibrant, it's really well saturated. Overall, in terms of artistry, her creativity really, really shined in this challenge.
Bob, you're next. You had Neuschwanstein Castle.
The way it comes down and just starts to become realism is really creative.
I think you could have even warped it a little bit more to make it seem like it was like twisting and growing, because it does seem a little bit tippy.
It does. You're looking at skyscrapers and you're on the floor and you're looking up at it. It almost feels like they're falling down on you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if there was a princess in that tower, she'd fall right out.
Pawn. You chose the Little White House in Quebec.
Right at the end of that roof, how it flips up almost like a book. I think that's really neat.
The only thing that I question is the light blue on the waves and the light blue on the wall are very similar. I would have just loved to see more contrast there.
DJ. You had the Statue of Liberty. It's a unique approach to an iconic landmark. Your artwork is badass.
I love the open skin, like how the skin shows through and breathes. And I do like that you took liberty and put the torch down. I think that's super cool.
Thank you, guys.
Anthony. You had the Acropolis of Athens.
That's a hard tattoo with all these straight pillars going up and down.
Especially going on the ribs, I really wanted to take something rigid and really try to create some type of movement and flow. Time really, it got away from me.
I just wish it was a little bit more readable in the clouds. I feel like there might be a cover up in there with the darkness of it. I do like the line weight in the tattoos, like as far as like the thickness and thinness of the lines.
This is your nightmare.
Good parts are good. The bad parts are bad.
Gian. You had the Sphinx Pyramid of Giza.
The black and gray realism side is where I have a little trouble. If you were to pull back on the line work, it would read more 3D.
It's just missed opportunities of really showing us different sides of yourself, because I feel like you attempted this whole tattoo as a strong neo-traditional artist.
Oh my God.
Angel. You had Machu Picchu.
I thought you were. Your challenge was an entire city. That black and gray section, it looks like a grainy old photograph. And then we get to the new school part of it. You are not a new school artist, but this tattoo would make me believe otherwise.
You actually created some atmospheric perspective, like distance between the llama and the back mountains. And I think that makes a powerful, realistic piece.
Thank you, thank you.
Killed it.
Creepy Jason. You had the Golden Gate Bridge.
The way you transitioned the bridge and it slowly starts developing color was really cool.
You're running really strong in this competition. And this is like 3 tattoos in a row. You've made good choices.
That's the plan. Thank you very much, guys.
Tony. You had Chichen Itza.
Man, I'm surprised the line work is really good, because I saw you sweating.
Dude, I had to dip and rip, like there was no hesitation. It was fight or flight.
It does look like you couldn't come up with a better idea of how to bring the realism in and how to separate it. Survival mode, let me just do a good tattoo here.
Yes.
And hopefully I hit enough.
You didn't quit.
I refused to quit.
That's kind of the best thing you did.
Thank you.
Steve. You had the De Goyer windmill.
I'm still having a hard time figuring out which one is the realistic side. It's kind of caught in between, where it's like half a illustration, half realistic.
I think that's where I went wrong. I tried to blend it too much. I thought of every piece as half new school, half realism.
Totally.
If you just don't see it, that's the problem.
This was not your day today, and it shows.
It should be.
Today, you had to show contrast, tattooing a black and gray bug on your canvas's throat. You were being tested on Ryan's specialty. Let's see how you did. Angel, you're up first.
That's a really nicely done bug tattoo. I love the transparency that you got in the light wings. In terms of the bee, you nailed it. But it's that background that kills it for me. I just don't ever see the point of putting something asymmetrical on a symmetrical part of the body unless it's purposeful.
It's the only thing I don't love about the tattoo, because I love that bee. I think that bee is sick. DJ.
Get it, homie.
This is exactly the correct way to put something asymmetrical on a part of the body that is symmetrical, because it has purpose. The spider looks like it's crawling up this guy's neck. The way that you brought the gray in and really shaded into the lightest part of the spider, you made us believe the illusion that that spider is round.
I love the way it's lifted off the skin. Great tattoo.
Thank you, guys. Anthony.
Doing a grasshopper on the throat and having to draw that angle is tough. The middle body was perfectly placed on the Adam's apple, and I was impressed by that. That was like a hard thing to do.
This tattoo shows me contrast, not just in all your tones of gray, but contrast in the technique that you used to achieve different textures. You really took the bull by the horns and showed us a bunch of different things.
Thank you.
Creepy Jason.
All right.
In terms of contrast, you have your darks, you have your mids, and you have your lights, but there's not that big of a difference. It's all the same tone. But the fact that you freehanded a tattoo on someone's throat during a competition is insane.
You got thrown to the wolves, bro. The guy had no neck. You really elongated his neck.
And the guy was tensing up and groaning, and his breathing was so erratic.
You gave this guy a jawline.
Cool, thank you guys.
Yeah, good job.
Tony.
It is so pretty. How that lays on her neck like that and how soft and powdery those grays are.
Realism is very difficult for me. I don't do it.
Stop saying that you don't do realism, because you're obviously doing it pretty well. The black next to those light wings is exactly what we're looking for when we're saying contrast.
This might be my favorite tattoo of the day. Katie.
Alrighty.
The artwork is very in your style, but it doesn't do a lot for her in terms of the shape of the neck because the legs are a little bit stumpy. If you brought those legs down and really made them come to a point, you would give her like a really beautiful shape. Elongate that neck.
I would have loved to see you pull some of that web together with the outside flowers and make it feel like it's one piece.
It does look like 3 different tattoos that are a little bit disconnected.
Gian.
All right.
You made a beetle look beautiful. I love how you used all the dark leaves around it to frame it up.
You were able to take every single little piece of the face, separate it, and use a different tone of gray that worked together.
These little circles that you've put on the bottom shelf is really, really cool to create that contrast to the center of it.
I think this tattoo is badass.
Thank you.
Bob. Design-wise, it does feel decorative. Feels like a beautiful piece she's wearing.
In Buddhism, there's 2 sets of eyes. When your head is down and you're looking around, normally you see the material world, but then when you're looking up or dreaming, those are the eyes that are open. And I really wanted to play with that.
You made your design very, very high contrast and then really utilized that medium gray to separate different layers, and it makes this beautiful gradient.
You did a great job. I think you're running in the front of the pack, dude.
Thank you.
1 step behind Gian, apparently.
Pawn.
Let's do this. All right.
I love the moon. It fits that area really, really pretty. But where the antennas come up over the moon, you should have attempted that to be a little bit more symmetrical.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until right now that they weren't.
I don't know what you did with those top wings. They almost look like so much black, it's tribalistic.
The canvas I chose, she wanted something dark. I went maybe darker than I would have liked to have gone.
I feel like it kind of gets a little frumpy. It's just heavy, bro.
Today, you had to execute perfectly composed Japanese tattoos. Before we critique your work, Ruby, I want to officially welcome you to the Ink Master shop.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, let's see how you did. Bob, you're first. It's a thing of beauty when that's your first tattoo. I can show you my first tattoos. They don't look like that.
I feel like your client deserves like some kind of medal. But part of that is on you as well, like creating that rapport. I really like being able to see that he felt like he trusted you. I think it's amazing. It's a big piece of work. It's a great design. The composition is fantastic.
I love the movement, how he's marching forward, and you didn't just put one sword there. You got the triple pack. I'm happy with this tattoo.
Thanks.
Angel.
The swirls are the hardest things to do with any foo dog, and that takes good line work to pull off. And you did that. You got the tail with a good movement as all the hair's flowing in the proper direction.
I love how the foot comes onto the shoulder. It looks like this tattoo was designed specifically for this guy on this part of the body.
If you put a tattoo on someone's pecs, it better make his pecs look bigger, right? That's what I've hoped for. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Gian.
All right.
You went big.
I went big. It was literally the size of my torso. I kept it really traditional.
I'm buying it. Keep selling it.
$250,000, I'm gonna sell this shit.
I love the red. Color's awesome. I love the cherry blossoms. Your outline's stellar. That's one of the strongest points you have. It's just great line work. I would have loved to see you do a little bit different thicknesses of lines.
If you bolded some lines, that would allow you to have so much more power to your tattoo.
Should have used a thicker line, Gian. What were you thinking?
Creepy Jason.
This whole tattoo feels very blocky to me. I do think that you had an opportunity to utilize a little bit more flow and a little bit more movement. Everything is just very stagnant in terms of composition.
I think it is not a good layout. The sun takes up way too much space. The bird needs to be the most prominent thing in the tattoo, and it does not feel special. A $250,000 crane is what I want to see.
Bird tats.
Anthony.
I love this. I love the clean lines. I love the fish. That's what I have, is I have a koi. And I was worried that I would see a koi that was better than mine, which isn't hard. The color, I love pink, and I love the red and pink and the orange, but I don't know if I like it on the koi.
The drawing itself of the koi fish is spot on. I like the way you draw your finger waves. The background is always in black and gray. God forbid you came out here with a blue water. I would have tore you apart.
Man, I know.
I could see you looking at your canvas and going, I gotta make all this work together, and I'm in a competition.
He wants 4 other koi fish to represent the rest of his siblings. I had to find a smart way to end the tattoo, but also not take up too much real estate.
You're amazing. Look at this human being that comes up with this beautiful, kind energy. Now I like the pink. Forget about it. Forget I said anything.
Pink is good.
It's definitely
I got you.
fantastic. I love
got
it.
you.
Come and make mine pink any day.
DJ.
You chose such a beautiful pattern on the kimono. That black pops so much in balance to the hair.
It evokes emotion. She has thoughts and feelings and intentions. And if it's about where you're putting it in composition, I mean, you've killed it because it's so flattering on every angle of the arm. It's a work of art.
Since you have entered this competition, I have been waiting for your moment to shine, and this is it.
Thank you, guys.
Tony.
The face is really something that I wouldn't be super stoked with. I feel like I can't see his mouth properly.
The head is too small and it gets lost between the shoulders, the arm, and the back arm. To try to shove so much detail of a face in that little of a space is where I think you shit the bed on this one.
I should have just blown it up, kept it simple the way I said I was gonna do it.
Katie.
Okay.
I think the composition of the tattoo, you're close to getting it right. If it was bigger, you put a lot of information in the tattoo. And so I don't even understand what's going on. It's just so busy that I'm completely lost.
Never put the main subject's head in front of its own body. You're gonna lose the face because you're creating a green dragon. So green on top of green on top of green, you're gonna have a problem.
I agree.
Gian.
4 people gave out a skull. I'm the asset. God damn.
Today, you had to tattoo color portraits. Let's see how you did. Bob, you're up first.
The precision in the nose and the mouth is really nice. I can totally feel his smile and warmth. I would have loved to see you bump the contrast up more around it. It's a little light. You either make the backside of the head darker or you make the background darker.
The hoodie that the kid is wearing is so good, and it puts so much contrast on the bottom of that chin. That's the strongest part of this tattoo. I wish it continued as I look up, but it loses power a little bit because it's so light.
Angel. Precision-wise, the head sitting right on top of the body is what throws the whole thing off a little.
Right under that ear on the left side, she has a crease in the neck, whereas on your tattoo, it looks kind of like a floating head pasted on top of that body with no real neck.
I do think you hit the likeness, but doing it so small was your challenge. I think bigger, you would have really accomplished a lot better.
I'm in the bottom. DJ.
What's going on, guys?
DJ, this tattoo, it is another level. You perfectly rendered glasses, a ribbed turtleneck, a scarf. You captured the essence of this woman.
I really, really love the hair. You could still see the eyes through the glasses underneath this filter, and somehow you captured it.
The scarf is a really nice frame for that face. To me, this tattoo is badass. You killed it.
Thank you, guys.
Gian.
What's up, guys?
You outlined the bottom of the face, the chin, cheek area, the nose, the eyes, and that's successful. The hair is not successful.
It's like spaghetti bolognese. There needs to be a couple meatballs on top of that thing.
I fell short with this one, man.
Her neck looks 90, the mid of the face looks 60, and her left cheek looks 40. The main features are not accurate.
You missed the mark on precision. It does not look like her to me.
Anthony.
100%, this is a tattoo of this guy. I love the hair that you did. You got the expression. You got some of the subtleties of what really makes him him.
The neck is so well done. The color's so good that as you come up, it becomes more muted. If you would have kept that same palette throughout the whole face, it would have been really successful.
Tony. I could tell you were visibly a little shook.
Portraits are important, man, and the last thing I'm trying to do is like disrespect this dude's family member.
I think you knock yourself for not being able to do this, but I really think that your technical side allows you to do it. I love the suit, I love the tie, I love the shirt. The neck, I think, is great.
What I see is an unfinished color portrait. One more hour, block in those shadows on the face. You do underneath the brows darker. You kind of add that color from the neck and the face, but I give you credit, man. It's just unfinished to me.
Creepy Jason.
Let's do this.
It's very, very, very bright. The white of the eyes you left as white as the teeth. They're super, super bright, but in the original photo, they are in shadow a little bit. The fact that you made the bright blue eyes the exact same color as the bright blue background, the eyes don't have any real like depth to them.
What happened too is you thought red hair, so you're like, I'm gonna do orange in the hair. Instead of really dissecting and looking at the hair, because red hair is not red like that. You pulled off a portrait. Do I think it's realistic? No.
Yesterday, you had to prove you have the skills, endurance, and versatility to tattoo a 12-hour leg piece.
Yeah, we do.
Based only on your work, each of your tattoos has been ranked by the judges. It's time to find out who is the first artist to secure their spot in the top 4. Please reveal the highest ranked tattoo. Who tattooed this?
That was me.
Knew it, I knew it.
Bob, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is a close to a 10 as you can get. You destroyed this tattoo.
Thank you.
Based on the judges' rankings, the best tattoo of the day goes to Bob.
Thank you.
Congratulations, that means you have secured your spot in the top 4.
Almost had a heart attack there.
I know.
Holy shit, the pause.
Oh my God.
Don't take that away from me, Dave.
But
But that is not all.
Throw the twist in at the end instead of the beginning.
God damn.
A spot in the top 4 is not the only thing on the line with these 12-hour leg tattoos.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Your place in the competition is also at stake.
Oh, it's an elimination.
Damn. We're losing somebody today.
For one of you, the fight to the finish ends now.
Oh, damn.
The artist with the lowest ranked tattoo will be eliminated from the competition.
Damn.
Just like that.
Joel, you know what you have to do. I leave you to it.
Let's find out the rest of the rankings. The second highest ranked tattoo will be safe from this elimination. Please reveal the second highest ranked tattoo. Who did this tattoo? DJ.
You hit this out of the park, DJ.
I freehanded all the bamboo with no reference.
That's awesome, dude. It's beautiful.
It legitimately looks like a photo from National Geographic. This is the epitome of what a color realism tattoo should be.
Thanks.
All right, please reveal the third highest ranked tattoo.
There you go.
That's mine.
This was my favorite one.
Angel, this tattoo is awesome.
You pulled out tricks that I haven't seen you pull out in this competition.
I've never done them.
You did one of your best tattoos ever. And
Ever, yeah.
Aren't you a black and gray artist?
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like you're a color artist now.
It looks like you're a color artist. You just didn't know it. This tattoo blew me away.
Thanks, dude.
All right, moving along. Please reveal the fourth highest ranked tattoo.
That's mine.
Knew it.
I didn't think it hit the mark of surrealism, but this is so well done.
Thank you, guys.
Got away doing the traditional again.
Yeah.
That means Creepy Jason or Anthony, one of you have the lowest ranked tattoo and will be eliminated. Please reveal the lowest ranked tattoo.
That is mine.
No way.
That was stressful, man.
It was, man. I usually love tattooing little tats, but they weren't easy. Some of them were crazy. Yours especially, man.
Mine, you think?
Yeah, man, you didn't draw all those ropes.
That was clever. I
That was
get it.
clever,
That's what
yeah.
you're doing there. But that was a dick move.
We're far into the competition. You gotta
I
leave
get it.
something out.
Yeah.
It's just so much pressure to put on such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't even seconds in between each stroke to think
No.
of what you want to do.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
All right, judges, we had a tattoo marathon. The artists each got to design a 60-minute tattoo. They had to tattoo their design, and then they had to tattoo each other's design.
Balls to the wall, dude.
We're gonna be ranking these tattoos completely blind. The tattoos with the highest scores win. Whichever artist has the lowest ranking, they will be eliminated. Let's get into the first design.
All right, here we go.
We have the eyeball flower.
Oh, that's mine.
Would have been fun to tattoo that.
And let's start with number 1.
Oh, that's mine. That thing looks even better now than it did when I did it.
I like the color choices, the little drop of yellow and that sparkle.
I love on that bottom squiggle how they went in and actually made all of those bumps look sort of bulbous with that darker red. I'm pretty impressed by it.
Let's move on to tattoo number 2.
Oh, that's mine.
The outline on this is exceptional. No flares, no bullshit. It's a super, super clean tattoo.
Clean.
Next tattoo.
That one's mine.
The gray shading in it is super buttery and smooth.
Line work is really crispy.
It's beautifully rendered.
Yeah, it's
but there's
really
not
well done.
a lot of contrast between the elements because I don't think there was a lot of confident, like mid-tone, you know.
Let's bring up the last eyeball.
Ooh, DJ.
Thinking back, I would have done some different stuff to it.
I love that it looks realistic, but it's missing the outline on the eyeball. It looks misshapen almost.
It does look a little oblong.
Let's take a look at all 4 of them together.
Number 1 is my favorite interpretation of
Yeah,
it.
I think it's a great tattoo, the number 1.
They're all so cool.
They are cool.
I'm so stressed right now, guys.
All right, let's take a look at the next design.
Hey, that's mine, man.
Let's start with number 1. The yellow eyes are dope. The red hearts on the deep black is awesome.
I'm not crazy about the red on those teeth.
Had they dropped the yellow into those teeth and gave it a gold grill, I would have been like, perfect. Let's move on to number 2.
Pinky Panther.
I definitely love the color play of the pink and the red together.
I gotta say, man, the Pink Panther,
It's fun.
it's fun.
Moving on to number 3.
Here we go.
So what's going on with the back ear there?
It's not finished.
Somebody ran out of time.
Oh, the ears.
And just imagine, whoever did this is much slower than tattoo number 1 because it's the same tattoo.
Moving on to the 4th Panther, the blue Panther, which I really loved. They did the gold grill.
Not only is this thing fully saturated, they took time to blend that bright blue into that super soft aqua. This to me looks like it could have taken somebody 3 hours to tattoo.
Any guesses on who did what?
Man, I can't tell you,
Yeah,
man.
this
This
one I
whole
have
thing
idea.
threw me in the loop. What happened to number 3?
It's 100% unfinished.
I'm gonna die.
Let's see the next design. The rat Fink.
Rats.
It has so much personality.
Well, let's get into number 1.
Look at all of the precision put into the little cut on the forehead. The way they actually made it look embossed. Every single piece of this thing is tricked out.
That's my favorite tattoo I've done this whole competition.
Let's see the next one. I lose the bottom of this tattoo. It's not as strong as the top.
They silhouetted that bottom tooth.
Yeah.
I don't know if they interpreted it like that was the mouth wrapping around to the other side around the tongue.
And the next one.
Doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
I'm not loving the green.
All right, next tattoo.
It's definitely not as fancy, but it's way more readable.
I hate that they didn't color the teeth in white.
They look unfinished.
Isn't it crazy how one stencil can go in this many different directions?
This is so hard for me to even guess these.
Judges, we're about to look at the last design. Remember, there are 4 artists here. There are only 3 spots left in the top 4. So these rankings are everything. We don't know who tattooed what, but we do know that one person is going home after this. Let's take a look at the last design.
This is a very common mask. It's simple, but everything's gotta be super tight.
Did you notice the cutout on the left-hand side and the cutout on the bottom right? They left the strings up for the interpretation of whatever artist was doing it.
Well, let's start with number 1.
That's it. That's my Tengu.
The ropes are cool. They're flowy. They have movement. They have some personality to them.
I don't like how it's shaded. It just does not seem clean.
Moving on.
Oh, that one's fine.
The gray in the mouth is very successful. And it's such a great choice next to the black lip.
Let's move on to tattoo number 3.
Wow.
Yeah, this one's awesome.
This person designed this tattoo with a plan in mind.
Look at where the rope is on the bottom, how they added the mask.
Yeah, nobody did that.
This person's playing the game.
Mask number 4.
Oh, that was me.
Everything is packed really nicely. It looks like a stamp.
But they fell into the snare. See the bottom right of the mask?
That little chin piece is missing in action.
It was a trick. The designer of this knew it was going to throw people off. He left a piece of the puzzle empty.